Don't tell me I don't have a solution. I told y'all the solutions all the time. Know the solution. Know the solution. I don't have to tell you that. All I can do is educate and push you in directions. And if I got to do that by putting a raccoon next to Candace Owens, I'm going to do that.
Well, that's some proper education there. Instead of answering his audience's question, he explains how he's educating them by comparing Candace Owens to a raccoon. This approach allows him to be condescending to his audience under the guise of comedy without providing any real answers. This is F.D Signifier, a true educator in the YouTube community. He has recently found himself embroiled in drama with Abba and Destiny. This, strangely, resulted in the donation of $20,000 in total to the Atlanta Police Department. So, how did we get here? It all started off with a little bit of life advice from Killer Mike.
You know, we can solve our own problems. I told these children, I gave them 5 rules a day. I said, graduate high school, further your education, get a trade of some type, if possible. Do not have children out of wedlock or until you're married. The other thing was live below your means and invest in property or stock. Ain't no messiahs coming out the sky. Sorry. Right. You know, the truth of it is we got to take care of us. I was raised by people who were born in 1922 and 1932. And they told me, because these people were born before social welfare, this is what you have to do. You take care of each other. Huey Newton said that, leaders don't decide how the revolution is going. It's the people. It's the people. So once the people start making that a habit, we get better. And if we as Black people start doing the right thing economically, living below our means, not projecting this thing of richness, we'll start to enrich our lives by spending more time with our children. We'll start to set up for our grandchildren to be in a better place. But that takes what we told those young men today, discipline.
This genuinely helpful advice is something that F.D Signifier just cannot stand for. For those who don't get what's wrong here, this type of bootstrap rhetoric is based in fake math and logistics. The problems that face Black people isn't from a lack of effort, it's from a lack of resources. Okay, sure, but anybody with a lack of resources could probably benefit from a bit of self-sufficiency. But who knows, I probably bought into the fake math of capitalism. He then mocks the idea of Black people living below their means. But living below your means is something everybody should be doing, not spending all of the money you have, not getting into debt. Destiny enters the fray. There is literally nothing that Killer Mike says in this video that every person couldn't apply to their lives. Wealthy YouTubers like F.D Signifier like to treat Black people as incapable idiots who can only better themselves if a white savior helps them. Some Black commentators think less of Black people than the most racist, bad guy ever has. While there's some hyperbole here, it's Twitter, so that's a given. But I also think Destiny makes a good point here. Continually telling your audience they're oppressed beyond belief is a great way to cultivate self-victimization, not a great mindset to have for taking the power back. At this point, F.D Signifier hops on stream to address the tweets.
So when you hear people like me and the rest of Cornbread Crew and a bunch of white folks talk about structural issues, it's because that's the thing we can't get over the hump with y'all.
No, we understand that systemic issues exist in America. What F.D Signifier fails to understand is that not every one of us is so privileged we can just drop everything to go help some strangers. Adversity is not exclusive to Black people.
Destiny, the proclaimed millionaire, calling me wealthy. I don't got it like Destiny. I make good money. And I talk about it in the video, so I'll say it here. I make high-paid doctor money off YouTube.
Imagine being so privileged that you don't think making more money than a high-paid doctor is wealthy. If you always compare your wealth to the people who are richer than you, then you will always feel poor. F.D Signifier does mention he has debt, but that just goes to prove he should be living beneath his means.
We're a different breed. Y'all do content. This is my job. This is y'all life. This is my work.
What? I don't really understand the difference, and I'm pretty sure this is Destiny's job too. It just feels like a weird way to cheapen Destiny's work. It comes off as self-important and dismissive at the same time.
If you've watched, I've watched Destiny, as soon as he hears my name, he just blows a gasket. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't think it's racism. I think it's just ego.
While Destiny probably has a sizable ego, he probably blows a gasket when you're mentioned because you're annoying and incredibly obtuse. I'm just guessing here, but it seems far more logical than racism or ego.
John Emrick Clark said, "I only debate my equals, all others I teach." That's how I feel.
Who talks like this? This sounds like a genuine superiority complex. This sort of stubborn superiority is one of the things that can easily lead to the creation of echo chambers. This stream with Kidology and F.D Signifier is from about 2 months ago. The conflict started when F.D Signifier was reacting to Kidology's content with some friends. They called her a trans-antagonistic dog whistler, which led to Kidology being harassed and her channel suffered. Not only does F.D Signifier admit he's in an echo chamber, he also shows he doesn't know what dog whistling is, so he really shouldn't be throwing that term around. Let's start with the echo chamber.
If you're not willing to engage with the very normal perspective or the apolitical perspective, or with other people who are, like me, willing to speak with you and engage with you, then I don't really see you getting any further along than it merely being what I see it as being, as just essentially a clique, which was one of my critiques of the left, that it is very cliquey.
I completely agree. Closing yourself off to discourse to those who disagree with you is one of the quickest ways to kneecap whatever movement you're trying to cultivate. What she's describing is essentially an echo chamber. This is F.D Signifier's response.
This is a clique. We are in the clique. Me not platforming you was not due to you being apolitical. I explicitly said, because I found some of your content trans-antagonistic, and I want my space to be trans-positive. I don't want to put viewers of mine that are trans or trans-positive in a position where they have to grapple with and engage with antagonistic ideas or individuals or ideologies to their existence.
Kidology liking some of Jordan Peterson's work doesn't threaten anybody's existence, but a great way to create an echo chamber is to paint any kind of opposition as a threat, as a danger. Whether F.D Signifier realizes it or not, his content thrives off of fear and moral superiority. Moving on to the misunderstanding of dog whistles.
You may not know what a dog whistle is, but you did it.
In this one sentence, he manages to be incredibly condescending while not knowing what he's talking about. A dog whistle is the use of coded or suggestive language in political messaging to garner support from a particular group without provoking opposition. So if she doesn't know she's using a quote-unquote dog whistle, then she's not coding her language. People are just misinterpreting her. If someone gives their honest opinion and then people twist that around into some sort of ammunition for hate or whatever, then that's not a dog whistle. It's just unfortunate.
You may not know what a dog whistle is, but you did it.
Speaking of dog whistles,
there is no way to solve Black people's problems without massive, what's the word I want to use here? Be careful. There is no way to solve Black people's problems in America without massive social and economic change.
even as somebody who thinks the term dog whistle is highly overused, I'm pretty sure this is one of the most clear-cut examples you can find. I mean, he straight up says "be careful" to himself out loud. It seems like he took the time to code his language there. Given his relatively positive attitude towards anarchy, there's actually a decent chance he was trying to convey more than he was saying.
So I was able to buy a house. My little sister, who's 28, made her own house. Whole different perspective. Some of my cousins in Chicago, they're not feeling capitalism the same way I'm feeling capitalism, So that's who I need to be talking to about socialism, or anarchism, or whatever. Well, Andrewism would say we would have a better world in an anarchist world. Every day I wonder how much more I'm starting to agree with him when as I learn more.
But what about the $20,000 donated to the Atlanta Police Department? What kicked that off was this sort of troll request from F.D Signifier.
So Destiny, I know you're watching this. I will come on your stream after you donate $25K to community movement builders here in Atlanta to address the Stop Cop City movement. You know what? You're right. $50K. I'm selling myself short.
Destiny replied saying he would do it for $10K.
I'll do it for $10K. I'll do it for $10K.
But according to Destiny, F.D Signifier only gave him a 24-hour window at best.
So then he says, okay, make it 10,000. I say, all right, well, unblock me and I'll do it. So he unblocks me. And then the next day he blocks me again immediately. And I'm like, I guess I had like a 12-hour window to donate. So I'm like, okay, well, if I had like a 12-hour window, because this guy's so important, I guess he must not want my $10,000 too badly. So I'll just give it to the competing organization, which his org is like an anti-cop co-op or some bullshit. So I figured I'd donate the 10K to the cops instead.
That's right. A couple days later, Destiny donated the 10K to the Atlanta Police Department, which goes directly against a cause F.D Signifier is trying to support. Very petty and unnecessary, but also pretty hilarious. But where did the other 10K come from?
I've already donated 15K.
Shut up.
I did. I can send you the proof if you want to see.
No shot. Did you actually, dude?
Yeah. Hopefully FD Signifier tweets 1,000 things about it.
Bro, don't. Oh, God.
I don't know. When I have to deal with liberals like that, it makes me want to support the police.
Yep, Abba of Abba and Preach decided to pitch in as well. He says 15K here, but I'm just going off of what it says on the receipt. Perhaps there's a lesson to be learned here. If you don't want people to start throwing around real amounts of money just to meme on you, then maybe you ought to learn some diplomacy. But I could see how I might not be the best person to be talking about being diplomatic. Alright, that's gonna have to do it for this one. Shout out to the best subscriber squad in all of YouTube. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
I'm black now.